I'm about to give you the answer, the sum total of everything we're going to talk about, everything we have talked about, and everything we don't have time to talk about. This is it right here. Get your pens ready. Write this down. Now, it might sound scientific, so I'll spell words if need be, but this is the answer to everything, and it was worth your trip. Okay, get ready. Get your pens ready, because this is it. Ready? Okay, ready? Start writing. Eat real food. Now, the interesting thing was, if I was giving this seminar 100 years ago, do you know everybody would stop writing and say, as opposed to what? What do you eat in the future? I don't get it. Do you eat rocks and bark? I said, oh, actually, those would be better than what we do eat. And I explained to them this what we did to the food, that we now just turned it into consumable items, that we actually have items that people put into their body that was entirely manufactured in a laboratory. They're shocked that we would do something. They thought, I thought you guys were intelligent in the future. We are, but we just don't get that. And then I explained to them this idea of organic. And they said, well, based on your definition of organic, everything we eat is organic. It's all natural. We rotate our crops instinctively. We only catch things that are in the wild because that's all we have is wild. Now, here's the issue. How do you know what's real, what's not? If it was around 1,000 years ago, it's probably pretty good. Now, I'm not talking about if it's around 1,000 years from now, like a Twinkie. I'm talking about if it was around 1,000 years ago, such as chicken, eggs, produce, vegetables. Now, where do you find these items in the store? Where do they hide it? In the outside perimeter. That's where you're going to find it. Now, just because it's on the outside perimeter does not mean that that's good. It means odds are that's where you're going to find the food that was around 1,000 years ago. The meats, the chicken, the fish, the produce, the vegetables and fruit. Basically, it's eating real food. Custom nutrition for the human body. We in this country are debating the issues of healthcare. I'm more concerned about each individual's responsibility to take care of themselves. Individual responsibility. That's one of the things that I always said was, well, I'll be taken care of when I ruin my health. They'll develop a drug in the future. Heart disease is set to triple in 18 years to more than $800 billion a year. Who's paying for that? That's right, everybody in this room is. Most heart disease is preventable with real food diet and more exercise, according to the Heart Association. Type 2 diabetes is costing the U.S. more than all the wars and disasters combined. Here's what it says. Uncontrollable diabetes wreaks havoc on the body, often leading to kidney failure, blindness, and death at $174 billion a year. That's as much as the conflicts in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the global war on terror combined. And then it goes on to say, preventable. Diet and exercise. This study was called the Cancer Disconnect. Folks, did you know that sugar is the main feeder to cancer cells? Could this message save lives? Knowledge is power when it's applied. This new study came out. What does it cost an obese 18-year-old to remain obese throughout adulthood? How much? $549,907,035. Over $500,000 for that individual. So folks, you are not a victim. You are not a victim. I cannot repeat that enough. We need to prepare, and we're going to talk about this before we leave the house. Prepare our food in advance. We're not a victim of our genetics. We're not a victim of our society. Though we live in a toxic food environment, does not mean that we've got to eat whatever's laid in front of us. I'm not going to participate. I'm going to do what I can to be healthy. And we're going to make that change tonight. The time is now, if you let it.